Well, I have good news for those of you that have developed a liking for these curtains. I actually had one guy yesterday say the curtains have become legendary. I got good news for you guys. The echo is still far too pronounced in the new studio room back there. I tried to record back there this afternoon. The echo is a whole lot better than it was. It's a whole lot better, but it's just not where I want it to be. I tried to tinker with the sound in Adobe Premiere when I was editing the video that I tested out, and I mean, it's not what I would call bad, but it's just not something that I want to publish. So we're going to tinker with a few things later this week to try to get the echo down to a reasonable level, and hopefully we can get back in that new studio. Hopefully later this week, but I don't know. I don't know at this point. We've got to get the echo problem figured out. But anyway, I used to really enjoy history. I'm not talking about the garbage they teach in schools today. I'm talking about real history, stuff that actually happened. I think history is fascinating. I would like to travel back in time to see what life was like in the 1600s, the 1800s, the 1920s, 1940s. And I don't want to get stuck back there. We are extremely pampered today compared to life back then. I don't want to have to endure a summer without air conditioning. I don't want to ride a donkey to the nearest well to pick up my bath water. But I think it would be interesting, if it were possible, to go back in time for a day or two just to see what day-to-day life was like for the people back then. One of the reasons I think history is so fascinating, it has a tendency to repeat itself. The characters, they're different. Sometimes the circumstances are a bit different, but the overall story is the same. Centuries ago, people did not do things for the sole purpose of making history. I'm going to make history by being the first person to ride a goat across the country. I'm going to make history by sucking milk out of this cow's nipple. Back then, people did shit because it had to get done. If they made history in the process, so be it. They weren't concerned about being remembered decades later. It was a full-time job just to survive day-to-day life back then. They didn't have time to be concerned about making history. That is not the case today. Today, people suffering with low self-esteem, lack of self-worth, they're all trying to make history. Take Leah Thomas, for example. I want to be the first man to dominate women's swimming. Oh, what a fucking accomplishment that is. You know how else you can make history? You can be the first woman to grow a fucking mustache. We are living in times where insecure people want to be the first to do something, making history just to say they could make history. I want to be the first non-binary person on Uranus. That's great. Just be sure it's a one-way ticket to Uranus. We don't want you back here on Earth. As you guys know, Major League Baseball is struggling to remain relevant, at least on a national level. People just don't watch baseball anymore, especially young people. Hell, 20% of these young people today, they don't have time to watch baseball. They're too busy figuring out their gender. I can't sit through a 9-inning baseball game. I have to figure out whether this penis makes me a boy or a girl. Part of the problem in Major League Baseball, they don't have any stars. Of all the sports, NBA, NFL, Major League Soccer, NHL, of all the sports, Major League Baseball by far is the worst marketed, the worst promoted. They have no idea how to build stars. However, they might have figured out the formula. Maybe, just maybe, baseball's found a player that can save the sport. Perhaps they were inspired by Donald Trump. Over the weekend, Donald Trump said LeBron James should play in the WNBA. 10 years ago, that idea would have seemed far-fetched, but in 2022, it's considered normal. Baseball's decided they want to join the woke party too. Here at Major League Baseball, we're all about diversity and inclusion. That's great. You know what diversity and inclusion make you? Extinct. Have you guys ever heard of Kelsie Whitmore? Here she is. Cute girl, right? Unlike Rachel Levine, Kelsie Whitmore's a young woman you would be proud to take home to your mother. You see her in that uniform, you automatically assume Kelsie Whitmore is a softball player. After all, boys play baseball, girls play softball, right? That's the way it's worked for decades. But come on, guys. This is 2022. It's the era of first. It's the era of making history. Kelsie Whitmore made history over the weekend. Now, before we go any further, let me just get this out of the way. I don't want this video to be construed as a hit piece on Kelsie Whitmore. I have nothing against this young woman. I'm sure she's a nice girl who just wants to play baseball. But I think she's being used, and if she's not being used yet, she's well on her way to being used. I'll explain that more in just a second. First, let me explain how Kelsie Whitmore made history. The Atlantic League is an independent baseball league that's partnered with Major League Baseball. I guess it would be equivalent to single A ball, maybe even lower than that. Hell, I don't know. Yesterday, two teams no one's ever heard of faced off in the Atlantic League, and a star was born. History was made. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, today you're witnessing a first in the Atlantic League. With today's starting left field, Kelsie Whitmore becomes the first woman to start a game in Atlantic League history.
Oh, isn't that nice? Nothing like making history by using someone to sell tickets to your shitty baseball game, or feeling sorry for them because she's a woman and wants an opportunity to play with the men. Either way, it's bullshit. And let me tell you the reason I say that. Kelsie Whitmore has no business playing professional baseball. I don't say that because she's a woman, although that should be reason enough. They tried an all-women's professional baseball league before. It didn't work. Kelsie Whitmore has no business playing professional baseball because she's not fucking good enough. Some outlets in the mainstream media, they've picked up on this story. The New York Post, Fox News, MLB.com actually posted a story about Kelsie Whitmore. None of them are talking about the fact that she's not good enough to be playing with men at this level. Let me read you her stats, and you tell me, if these stats belong to a dude, he would be getting a shot at playing semi-pro baseball. Kelsie Whitmore played 2 years in the Pacific Association. 2016, she had a .077 batting average, one fucking hit in 14 attempts. 2017, one hit in 16 attempts. But Kelsie Whitmore identifies as a pitcher. Pitchers aren't supposed to be good hitters. Oh, yeah? Her ERA over 2 years was 21, meaning over 9 innings pitched, Kelsie Whitmore would give up 21 runs. Does that sound like a minor league prospect to you? She couldn't make the fucking all-star team on my nephew's Little League. The thing is, Kelsie Whitmore's actually a good baseball player when the playing field is level and she's playing against other women. From 2014 to 2019, she played for Team USA in women's baseball. She had an ERA of 1.35, a batting average of 348. But Team USA, that's not the dream. Kelsie Whitmore's dream is to play Major League Baseball. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if it actually happened. It would not surprise me if Major League Baseball turned Kelsie Whitmore into the star clown in the traveling circus. This is another example of confused gender roles. They are blurring the gender lines. Hell, they aren't blurring the lines. They want to get rid of gender altogether. No more men, no more women, just a bunch of genderless, non-binary people. If this story picks up steam, the mainstream media will turn Kelsie Whitmore into a hero for young girls. See, girls, you too can play Major League Baseball. No, ladies, you can't because you will never be good enough. We are losing an entire generation to this confused gender bullshit. Speaking of losing something, have you guys ever lost your wallet before? I know I have. There have been times where I've drank too much and left my wallet at the bar, or I'll be wearing a pair of sweatpants like I do every day, head out to get lunch, and the wallet will slip out of one of my pockets. Losing your wallet sucks. It's almost like losing your identity. Got to get a driver's license. You got to call every debit and credit card that you have to cancel your lost cards, get them to send you new ones. We are living in times of convenience. We all have busy lives. We tend to buy things that ease concerns that make our lives easier. You will never have to worry about losing your wallet again with the Extra Wallet. Extra Wallets come with this tracking device. It's actually solar charged, and the charge lasts 2 to 3 months. Tracking device right here. You just slip it inside your wallet. If you misplace your wallet, you simply log on to the app and it will show you exactly where your wallet is. I've been using the Extra Wallet for about 2 weeks now. I like it. I mean, it's good quality leather, keeps all my stuff in here, and if I ever lose it, I can find it. Follow the link in the description below. You get 20% off all Extra products, free shipping on all orders over $50. And as an added bonus, you'll be supporting the channel. Anyway, we are losing an entire generation to this confused gender bullshit. Men wanting to play women's sports, women wanting to play men's sports. Hell, the animals have it figured out better than we do. I have yet to see a dog trying to fuck a cat. The dog, he would rather hump your leg than fuck the cat. I saw a report earlier today. 20% of kids under the age of 18 either identify as transgender or they're confused about their gender. 20%. When I was 16, 17 years old, I had never even heard of transgender. I think back then, back in 02, 03, most people hadn't. At 16, 17, I was confused about many things. My gender wasn't one of them. Why are kids so confused? Because they're being bombarded with propaganda. Started with Caitlyn Jenner being given the Courage Award by ESPN. Of course, they have now kicked Caitlyn Jenner out of Club Woke because she doesn't comply 100% with their twisted narrative. Then you had Vanderbilt a couple of years ago letting that young girl play football. Leah Thomas with a full boner allowed to compete against women. I could give example after example. And now we have Kelsie Whitmore trying to become a Major League Baseball player. It'd be one thing if she was qualified. I still would agree with it. I still think men should compete against men, women compete against women. But if she was qualified, at least she would be making it on merit and not sympathy or a woke cause. We are raising a generation to believe that merit doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is inclusion. Inclusion is a fucking lie. It's a myth. I know the woke world operates on inclusion, diversity, equity, but the real world operates on value. Back in 2000, Ela Borders tried to be the first woman to play Major League Baseball. Even though she sucked in the minor leagues, the Cincinnati Reds, they were considering sending her an invite to training camp, spring training, I should say. Ultimately, though, they decided against it. Why? Because they thought she would be a distraction. The team was already getting a lot of unwanted media attention just off the rumors that she would be invited at spring training. The Reds, they didn't want to turn the 2000 season into a fucking circus, so they didn't invite her. You think that would be the case now? Major League Baseball, they wouldn't see Kelsie Whitmore as a distraction. They would see her as a cash cow. They would see her as their letter of acceptance into woke you. And look, I am not blaming Kelsie Whitmore. She's just a young woman with a dream. If it wasn't her, it would be someone else. But at some point, someone with some balls has got to step in. I ain't talking about Leah Thomas. I'm talking about someone with balls has to step in and put an end to this bullshit. Women don't belong competing against men. Men don't belong competing against women. It's that simple. I don't know why that is such a hard concept to grasp. We used to call it common sense. Now it's called misogyny or old-fashioned. But anyway, link to Patreon's in the description below, as well as the link to the channel on Rumble. If you don't want to support the channel through Extra, you can always support the channel by donating through Patreon. Always optional, always appreciated. But let me know what you think. Kelsie Whitmore, playing baseball against dudes, dreams of being a major leaguer. Do you think she has a chance? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com. KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.